Let me show you how I managed to build this gorgeous PC and giving Prime free promo in the process. Let's go. I built Rusty in my first ever video on YouTube and realized that there was room for improvement. So I bust that PC right open and dive right in. Yeah, boy. I went for the YouTube logo design, hoping that the algorithm will bless me with at least 200,000 views. Look at me, asking for that much. I had to make some breathing holes because Dusty's fans were blowing like a hurricane in the stormy seasons. I got some red and white spray paint from my local hardware store and start spraying. This is me now unveiling. There was a little issue. For some reason, the tape started to take off some of the paint. Well, let me know what you think in the comment below. And don't be afraid to hit that like button. This was the painting finish on the side panel. As you can see, there are little scratches here and there, but we can fix that in the future. I did not spray the entire thing because I want a little memory of old Rusty. I used some plexiglass I had lying around the shop to create the YouTube logo. The reason for this is when I spray it with the spray paint, it gives off that glossy finish with a 3D impression. Let me tell you something, I have to take my time removing this because I don't want it to damage the paint. Again, you can comment below and tell me what do you think. And to think of it, I think the algorithm should definitely boost this video. And look at this, I'm definitely the first person doing something like this. Let me know what you think about the finished product. And don't forget, leave a comment below. And finally, we can now put the YouTube logo with the side panel. So I got myself some super glue. And if you're wondering what is that the glue is going on, I actually rivet a piece of plexiglass at the back of it. Got that YouTube logo. Take my time. I had to be gentle because this glue is very strong and it dries very quickly. Come on guys. Look at that. Oh, I love it. And this was the finished product for good old Rusty. And it was time for the benchmark. Now I try to play as much game as possible. And I actually tried Prime for the first time. And this flavor, oh my god, it's the worst. I upgraded the i5 6500 to an i7 6700 CPU. I have added 8GB more to the 8GB that was already there, and we're still rocking our 1650 Super. Starting off with Apex Legends, we managed to get an average of 70 frames per second while diving and 100 frames per second while in combat. Up next, it was God of War. All the settings were set to original, and as you can see, we average around 55 frames per second, and the 1650 Super is maxed at 99%. I apologize for this one. I was having a little issue getting the specs on the screen, so I had to divert to the built-in frames per second tool. But we managed to average a minimum 120 frames per second. Red Dead Redemption 2 average around 45 frames per second. Our CPU usage was above 50%. However, the GPU usage was at 99% maxed.
This is what I call a crew. Money here, always the first man on his horse.
Just happy we're back at
Froza Horizon 2 was very well optimized for Windows. We averaged 60 frames per second, and the GPU and CPU were working pretty much together. As we move into the more graphics intense area of the game, the frames per second drop to the high 50s. And if you reach this far into the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I decided to use the built-in benchmark tool for GTA 5. And next on our list was Spider-Man, and our 1650 Super was struggling to keep up.
I knew Fisk wouldn't go quietly.
Now let's jump over to Valorant. We average around 200 frames per second.
Oh, sorry, pretty boy.
And last but not least, it's the last FIFA game that ever created. I don't normally see creators benchmark FIFA or EA, so I'm just putting this one in there. Thanks for watching the video. See you in the next one.
الغريب يبحث عن التعويض.